head of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Florida Congresswoman Ileana Ros-Lehtinen, leading GOP efforts to slash funding for the United Nations. Senior correspondent Eric Shawn joins us live in our newsroom with more. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning, Martha. Well, now that the Republicans are back in charge of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, they are now again asking questions about the UN. Do we get our money's worth? You know, the United States pays the largest share of the UN budget, 22%, or more than $6 billion a year for the whole UN system. The hearing this morning is expected to focus on UN reforms in the aftermath of the corruption scandals and oil for food program of a few years ago. Critics saying the U.S. should stop funding some UN efforts, such as the Human Rights Council, which is dominated by dictatorships in countries like Cuba, Libya, and China, and they say does not help American interests. Committee Chairwoman Ileana Ros-Lehtinen, Republican of Florida, has called the council a, quote, waste of taxpayer dollars. She says the UN has not undertaken the reforms it is needed to stop potential wrongdoing and fraud. I know several years ago there were numerous hearings and investigations of the United Nations, and they promised to reform. The UN did take several measures to try and enact new ethics and fiscal reforms. You know, many of the issues of a few years ago, say critics, still remain. At a 2005 hearing on UN reform, the then committee chairman, the late Congressman Henry Hyde, laid out the challenge.
Even the most steadfast of the UN supporters must concede that after more than half a century of operation, this many-faceted, sprawling entity is very much in need of focused scrutiny and extensive reform.
Well, UN supporters will testify today the UN has taken those steps to prevent fraud and wrongdoing, but it seems that many of those long-standing issues that were raised years ago will be echoed again this morning.
We'll see if they get anywhere with that effort this time around. Eric, thank you very much.
Unemployment's over 9%. Housing market still shaky just about everywhere. And tonight, the president lays out the State of the Union.